Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Back on the topic of the NFL. Today, Jay and I are going to be looking at the Tennessee Titans and predicting their record for the 2021 season. Similar video we've done for the Chargers and the Buccaneers. Now looking at the Titans record for 2021. But before we get into that video, question of the day involving your Titans running back, Derrick Henry, and another one of the best running backs in the league, Saquon Barkley, in a fight. Who are you taking, Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley? Comment your answer below, and at the end of the video, Jay and I will give you our answers for that fight. But again, the record or the schedule is not any particular date set. So our order starts with the Houston Texans at Energy Stadium in Houston. Who you got, Jay?
I'm definitely going to go with the Tennessee Titans on this one. Titans fans, don't get excited yet with this 1-0 start from me, but Texans might be the worst team in the NFL. I think they could get the number one draft pick of this upcoming year. Deshaun Watson is more likely than not going to be their quarterback, and he was the only thing really holding them together. I got the Titans and Derrick Henry probably going for a 200-yard game against the Houston Texans.
Yeah, this first game of the season, I think this one's going to go to the Titans. The Texans, whatever it is, whether it's Deshaun there or not, I think they won't start off too hot. So I got the Titans taking the first matchup between the Texans and the Titans going 1-0. Next game, we got the Colts in Indianapolis.
In Indianapolis, I'm actually going to go with Tennessee. I just think they tend to beat the crap out of each other in each other's home stadium. Happened last year. Titans dominated the Colts in Indianapolis, and then vice versa. I think the Colts will be a dangerous threat this year, but I do think they will split the series, and I got the Titans getting the edge over a new Carson Wentz team. Just like the Colts last year when they lost to the Jags week 1. They need some chemistry. They need a little bit of playing together to finally click and be a good team, and I think the Titans will catch them off guard early in the year.
Yeah, you make a good point there. Colts gave the Jags their only win last year in Week 1, and I do think that they'll need some time to get into the groove, if there even will be one for the Colts. I don't think the Colts will be a particularly very good team. I'm thinking 8-8, 9-7, and I do think the Titans will be slightly better than that. So I do think the Titans are the better team. I expect a big game out of Derrick Henry, and I do think the Titans will take this game over the Colts. Next game, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville.
I like Trevor Lawrence, and I would not be surprised if he steals a win from the Tennessee Titans, but just not knowing how he's going to be, not knowing how Urban Meyer is going to be, and having a decent idea how the Titans will be, I'm going to go with the safe bet and roll with Derrick Henry, who, just like he does in Houston, seems to always have the best game of his life against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he might be due for another 200 yards. It's just what he does, and it always seems to happen in Jacksonville, so I'm going to go with Derrick Henry on this one.
I'd love to see the Jags win this game. I'll probably root for the Jags to win this game, but I do think the Titans will come out on top. The Jags will be, obviously, a team with probably a quarterback in his third career game, a head coach in his third career game, so the Jags will not be, I don't think they'll be sharp yet, so I definitely have the Titans taking this game for their third win. Next game, we got the Rams at SoFi.
Definitely going to roll with the LA Rams on this one. I do think this is finally a defense the Titans are going to face and struggle against. This is going to come into play where Arthur Smith not being with the Titans is going to be a bad outcome for Ryan Tannehill against one of the top defenses in the league. Arthur Smith was a huge responsibility of Ryan Tannehill's success, in my opinion. Now that he doesn't have him and has to face a real competition, has to go toe-to-toe with Matt Stafford and his new Rams offense. I like Rams here, who still is kind of in a Carson Wentz situation where they play them early in the year. They might not have clicked yet, and the Titans might edge them out. But I'm going to go with the Rams powerhouse that's in the making.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams here. I think the Rams are a better team in every aspect except for running back and maybe number one receiver. So the Titans really don't have much on the Rams, and I think that'll show, but especially the defense of the Rams is certainly better than the Titans, and I think that'll prove to give the Rams the win. And then I also think that Stafford is a better quarterback, more talented quarterback than Ryan Tannehill. So I do have the Rams handing the Titans a loss in this matchup. Next, we got the Patriots at Gillette Stadium.
This one, I will go with the New England Patriots. I'm very high on them this year. Obviously, a lot will come into play on Cam Newton, how he does, but I just think with the additions they got on defense and on offense, stealing the tight end from the Tennessee Titans and Jonnu Smith and not stopping there, getting Hunter Henry as well, and then on defense, getting some guys back off of COVID, such as Dante Hightower, Stephon Gilmore will be healthy, and Matt Judon will be healthy. This will be a healthy and ready Patriots team that will be a whole new look that I think can take down the Titans. Obviously, we will need to see more from Cam Newton than we did this year, but I like the Patriots overall and a well-coaching staff and Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I think the Patriots' free agency moves will prove effective in this game. I do think the Patriots will take this game at home. I think Cam Newton will have a better year than he did last year, and I just think that with the addition of all the players that the Patriots added, I do think they have a better defense, or certainly have a potential to have a better defense than the Titans, and I think the offensive potential is also there. Of course, the Titans do have the better running back in the matchup, but that won't be enough, and I will take the Patriots in this game. I think it'll be pretty close, but I do have the Titans falling to the New England Patriots. Next, we got the Jets in New York.
I've told Carson this before the show. I just think the Jets, no matter what next year, is still going to be a god-awful team of 4 wins max. I think unless they get lucky and Zach Wilson turns out to be the next best thing and they got a first-round pick for Sam Darnold in return, I just don't see any immediate success. Long-term, I think they could turn things around, but right away, Jets aren't going to be a good team. I still think the Titans are a half a decent team, and I think they'll win in a dominant game over the Jets.
Yeah, I don't know, not much to say. I think the Titans are the better team, even if the Jets, like Jay said, do pull a lot out of the draft. I think it'll be too new, too fresh, and I think the Titans are just the better team, simply put. So the Titans are going to take this game. Next, we got the Steelers at Heinz Field. I think it's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, I think this is a good game. However, I am going to go with the Tennessee Titans still. I have a lot of faith that Big Ben is not going to be doing well for his team. He didn't do great last year, and I just think that pattern is going to continue. I think it's going to be a rough year for him. And not to say this Steelers defense won't hold their own and at least keep the game in contention and make it interesting. When you're shut down Derrick Henry, you shut down the Titans. So if TJ Watt can get to him, it will be a good game. But I just think even Ryan Tannehill has passed Big Ben at this point in their careers. So I'm going to go with the Titans.
Yeah, I think the Titans are going to take this game. I think it's going to be a good game. Like Jay said, the Steelers' defense is their strength. I think their offense will be pretty flat this year. I don't think Big Ben's going to have a great year. I do think the Titans have the better offense. Not as good of a defense. They did get Bud Dupree from the Steelers, which will help, but he's not going to change the game that much. But I think the Titans have the better offense, and I think Derrick Henry will have a big enough game to carry the Titans over the Steelers, who I think their offense will put up maybe 17, 20 points in this game. I don't think Big Ben and the Steelers offense can really beat the Titans. So I'm going to take the Titans. Next, we got the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle.
The Titans are taking a loss to the Seattle Seahawks, in my opinion. Russell Wilson will be on a MVP vengeance case. I think he's going to be fighting for the division, everything they got. The division's tough enough, so they have to get every single win they can outside of the division. And I just don't think the Titans have an answer for DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett or their new tight end pickup in Gerald Everett. It's just a very athletic receiving core that I think the Titans will struggle with in the secondary. Not to say it won't be a good game, because we know Seahawks defense isn't the greatest themselves, and Derrick Henry might be able to run on them, but I'm just going to take the better quarterback and receivers in this one, and Russell Wilson over Tannehill. And I'd like to see the A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf matchup, but I do think the Seahawks have a little bit of a better secondary than what the Titans are working with.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Titans in this matchup. I'd expect this is, if you look at what happened last year, Russell Wilson came out first 5-6 games or 4 or 5 games, MVP front runner, then really fell off towards the middle of the year, and this game prospectively is going to be in the middle of the year. I don't have a lot of faith in Russell Wilson. Last year we saw him have some really big turnovers in the middle of the season against the Rams, against the Cardinals, and I think something like that will turn up here. And I think Derrick Henry is going to have a big game against this Seahawks defense, which is not good up front. So I do think that the Titans will take this game over the Seahawks. Next, we have the Houston Texans, now this time in Tennessee.
Pretty much the same case as before. I think they're going to be one of the 5 worst teams in the NFL, if not the number 1 worst team. And the Titans, they have a good, decent quarterback. They have arguably the best running back, a solid receiving core, but a number 1 wideout that is outstanding. And the Texans, they just have nothing. They're not going to have Deshaun. They don't have Will Fuller. I just don't see the Texans standing a chance.
I'm still waiting on a trade for the Texans to get rid of Deshaun, pick up something, and I have faith in the Texans. They always seem to somehow play the Titans pretty well. Last year, I think they lost 2 games by a total of maybe 10 points to the Titans. They did have one in overtime. I got the Texans stealing this game. Not really great evidence as to why. I just have a hunch for my Houston Texans to take 1 game from the Titans, so I got them doing that. Next, we got the Colts now in Tennessee.
Now I have the Indianapolis Colts snatching a win for the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. I have faith in Carson Wentz and the Indianapolis Colts once they're halfway through the season. Not to say this game will play right there and then, but I just think they will finally get things to click. Frank Wright and Carson Wentz will be back together. And I think once this team has some games under their belt, they'll be ready to take down the Tennessee Titans. That's a top 5 defense versus Derrick Henry. And like I said before, if Derrick Henry shut down, the Titans are shut down. Yeah,
this is going to be a tough game, and it's hard for me to actually say, but I do think the Titans will sweep the Colts and get a second win here. I do think that obviously the Colts defense is far better, and are they capable? Far better than the Titans. Are they capable of shutting down Derrick Henry? It's on the table, but I'm waiting for a few, or really a key turnover from Carson Wentz in this game that will give the Titans just a slight edge. I think it'll be close, but I think it'll come down to maybe a late game-winning drive by the Colts that fails due to a Carson Wentz turnover. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So I think the Titans take the second win over the Colts and sweep them this year. Next, we got the Jags.
Yeah, similar thing. I really think Trevor Lawrence will have a great shot at winning this game, but I'm really skeptical of how Urban Meyer will be, and I know how good Mike Vrabel is. So just strictly due to coaching staff, I'm gonna roll with the Tennessee Titans. And even though I think Trevor Lawrence will be a much better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill eventually in their career, I'm not sure about a rookie year matchup. So I'm gonna go with the Titans.
Yeah, again, I got a lot of hope for Trevor Lawrence and this Jags team. I think they'll win a couple games that maybe they shouldn't this year. But I don't think this Division 1 will be one of them. I got the Titans again in the second matchup over the Jags. Now we got the Bills in Tennessee. Going to be a tough game for the Titans.
Yeah, really. I had the Bills at the beginning, and I'm still sticking with them, but it made a tough choice for me last year after we saw the Titans steamroll with the Bills. But that took a really bad turn of events for the Bills. A couple turnovers, a couple bad special team plays. I just don't see that happening now, and I do think the Bills will finally have their own run game. Not going to have a Derrick Henry run game by any means, but like I said, Arthur Smith being a big part of Ryan Tannehill's success. I think now not having that and now going against Josh Allen, who's an MVP-type quarterback, I just think the Bills are going to kill him through the air.
Yeah, so the Bills don't have a set running back at the moment. I'm thinking they addressed that in the draft with their, maybe 29th, 30th pick,
Yeah,
something like that. They're gonna. I think a guy like Najee Harris, Travis Etienne should be available, and I think that's who they take. So, I mean, that's right now my assumption is assuming they draft a running back. I do think the Bills take this game, and I guess even without drafting a running back, I think they'll still win. I do think, like Jay said, the Bills should be able to win the game through the air. I do think Derrick Henry will have a huge game. I'm not totally sold on the Bills' run defense, so I still think this is a game Derrick Henry runs for 120, 140, 150 yards and maybe 2 touchdowns. But I think Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs can connect for a couple, and Josh Allen might throw for 4. So I do have the Bills taking this game. Next, we got the Miami Dolphins in Nashville.
I'm going to go with the defense, the better defense here, and that is definitely the Miami Dolphins. I just think right now, even today, I would take the Dolphins over the Titans, and that is without considering the amount of draft capital the Dolphins have, just getting a top receiver in Jamar Chase likely, and then maybe getting the third or fourth best corner at number 18 and J.C. Horn. I just think the Dolphins team is already a possible playoff team, and I think they're going to go to the next level, and I think they will outmatch the Titans. It won't be a dominating game because I don't think Tua is ever going to spank anyone by 30 points, but I do think the Dolphins will win.
Yeah, I got the Dolphins in this one as well. I do think Tua can come out and lead a win, even if it's 140 yards passing that he's going to have. I do think the Will Fuller-Tua connection will be really helpful for this team this year. I got a lot of faith in Will Fuller. I think he's a great underrated receiver, so I think that'll help. And then like Jay said, that Dolphins defense is better than Titans, and I think they're actually arguably top 6, 7 in the league, or even top 5. So I do think the Dolphins have the much more well-rounded team. So I do think that the Dolphins will take this game over the Titans. Now we got the Cardinals in Nashville.
I'm going to roll with the Cardinals on this team. I like the athletic Kyler Murray, and I like the receiving core he has against the Titans secondary. I'm not against Janoris Jenkins and Kevin Byard. I'm actually pretty big fans of them, but I think against DeAndre Hopkins, the best wide receiver in the league, speedy slot receiver in Christian Kirk, and someone I believe in to actually redeem himself a little bit, A.J. Green. I'm going to go roll with the Cardinals here, and I expect J.J. Watt to get a sack himself.
Yeah, I'm a fan of J.J. Watt. I'm a fan of D-Hop. I don't think that the Titans can win this game over the Cardinals simply because they don't have an answer for D-Hop. I think that's going to be a huge answer. Plus, you got A.J. Green on the table. Will he have a good year? Will he be? Obviously, we think he can be effective. So, I mean, safe to assume that he'll at least be a factor. And then, I don't know, we did a mock draft. I think the Cardinals end up taking a receiver. So, I mean, whether that's Waddle or somehow Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith fall to pick 16, I do think he'll have a third weapon in there. And then you got a defense with Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt, Budda Baker. The list goes on with the defensive guys that this Cardinals team has. And then I guess the factor for me is, will Kyler Murray have a good enough game to beat the Titans? I think he plays pretty good football. He doesn't turn the ball over that much. I got faith in Kyler Murray and the Cardinals over the Titans. Now we got the 49ers in Tennessee.
Definitely going to roll with the Niners on this one. I think getting pretty much everyone back, even though I guess Jimmy G coming back, I don't know if he'll be playing the Titans, but getting Raheem Mostert back, getting George Kittle back, one of the best tight ends of the league, getting Deebo Samuel back, Brandon Ayuk's a pretty good rookie, and then on the defense, getting Nick Bosa back. We know how good Fred Warner is. I just think this is another matchup of a top 5 defense the Titans will not be able to handle. If you shut down Derrick Henry, and now you have Ryan Tannehill that doesn't have his offensive coordinator, this is a dominant win for the Niners, getting everyone back, and Kyle Shanahan's going to make a playoff team again out of it.
I do think the Niners can come out on top. I don't know if it'll be dominant. I don't really know what to expect from the Niners this year. Obviously, them trading up to 3rd overall, you assume they want to take Zach Wilson. At least that's what I assume they're going to do. So a rookie quarterback, possibly in that 49ers or under the 49ers center. I'm not sure if this is going to be how good this 49ers team is going to be, but we know they're going to have great defense and good weapons on offense, or at least tight end wise with Kittle, and most of in the backfield is not bad. So I do think this 49ers team is more well-rounded and will take this game, but a lot depends on who they got under center. And if it's Jimmy G, for example, if they stick with Jimmy G, I think he'll be good enough to beat this Titans team. And if they have Zach Wilson, well, we'll just have to wait and see. But overall, I'm going to give the Niners the win here. And now, 16th game of the year, we got the Chiefs.
Going to roll with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to probably be one of the best teams in the NFL. They just are. The quarterback matchup wins. The run game, Derrick Henry obviously wins in that favor, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire is good himself. Receiving core, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, best in the league, arguably. Defense, I guess the Chiefs' defense isn't dominant, but still Chris Jones, Frank Clark, Tyrann Mathieu, a pretty good defense that I like over the Titans. And as much as I like Mike Vrabel, Andy Reid's a top 3 coach, and it's just the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm going to take them over the Titans, just winning through the air easily.
Now, if this actually is, like I said, no date set for these games, but if this is a Week 16 game, Week 17 game, I don't know, we could consider the fact that the Chiefs might not have their starters in because they're already 15-0 or 15-1. But I guess we can't assume that. And I think that the Bills and the Chiefs might be duking it out to the end of the season for who's going to get the 1 seed in the AFC. So I don't think I'm going to assume the Chiefs have all their starters in, which would then lead me to believe that they should beat the Titans by 2 scores this year. So I got the Chiefs. And now, interesting enough for the NFL, we're looking at a 17-game season, and right now it looks like the Titans' 17th game will be the New Orleans Saints. Jay, who are you taking in that one?
Titans will get another win here against Jameis Winston and the Saints. I think Jameis Winston will be improving, but I think this is a Titans team that can handle it. Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas won't make the game fun, but I think the addition of Bud Dupree possibly slowing down Alvin Kamara, Janoris Jenkins being the former teammate of Michael Thomas, you might just know his little secrets just a little bit. I like the Titans here strictly due to Jameis Winston's mistakes. I don't think it'll be as bad, but I think it'll be enough for the Titans to take a win.
Yeah, I have the Titans taking this one for the same reason I have them sweeping the Colts. I think that they can rely on some big turnovers or a big turnover from Jameis Winston that will give the Titans a slight edge in the end of the game and give them the win. The backfield for the Saints, I like Alvin Kamara a lot, but I guess I still give the Titans the edge in the backfield with Derrick Henry. Out of the backfield, I guess Kamara's better catching the football, but I think the Titans have the more efficient offense. I think Jameis might be more talented than Tannehill, but he turns the ball over more, and I just think that the Titans are a more effective team, and I think they're going to take this win. So that leaves me with a final record of 9-8 for the Tennessee Titans. Jay, what you got?
I have 8-9 and missing the playoffs.
Yeah, I got 9-8, but I do think they'll win the AFC South. I think that's a division that won't have a whole lot of competition, but that is, from my perspective, assuming the Colts are not going to be that good.
Yeah, I got faith in the Colts, and Titans are not going to make it.
So that's all for our video predicting the Titans' record for 2021. Again, I've got 9-8, winning the AFC South. He's got 8-9, missing the playoffs. But as far as the question today, Jay, you got Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley. Who are you taking in a fight?
Got to go with King Henry, 6'3" at running back. Enough said.
I'm going to go Saquon Barkley. I think he's stronger for his size. I guess Derrick Henry's probably got physical size on him, but I think Saquon is stronger. He can get around that stiff arm that Derrick Henry has, and I think Saquon takes this fight. But that's my opinion, guys, and thanks for watching 2 Minute Warning.